The transport station reeked of oil and burned metal. Marcus watched the crowd surge past him, their eyes fixed straight ahead as they hurried toward the departure gates. Nobody looked at the small figure huddled against the wall near the maintenance corridor. She was maybe 4 feet tall, covered in grayish dust that obscured whatever her natural color might be. Her clothes were torn rags, and her hair hung in matted clumps around a face that seemed too large for her thin body. 2 enormous eyes blinked slowly as people rushed by, and Marcus noticed her 3-fingered hands trembling as she clutched something to her chest. A security guard approached her, but stopped several feet away. He wrinkled his nose and spoke into his communicator without getting any closer. Marcus caught fragments of the conversation. "Yeah, another refugee from the outer colonies. No, I'm not touching her. She's filthy. Just waiting for processing to send someone." The guard walked away, leaving the girl alone again. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. He knew that look in her eyes. He had seen it before, in mirrors and photographs. Back when he was the scared kid nobody wanted after his colony got hit. He walked over and crouched down a few feet away, making sure not to loom over her. "Hey there. You waiting for someone?" The girl's eyes widened. She nodded, then shook her head, and made a soft clicking sound that might have been words in her language. "You speak standard?" She held up her hand, thumb and forefinger barely apart. "A little." Marcus glanced around. The station was clearing out as the evening shuttles departed. Processing wouldn't send anyone until morning, if they came at all. He had seen how this went. Refugee services were overwhelmed. She would spend the night here, cold and alone, or worse. Get picked up by someone with bad intentions. He made a decision that his logical brain said was stupid, but his heart knew was right. "Listen, I've got a place not far from here. It's got hot water and food. You can clean up, rest, and tomorrow I'll help you find processing. Sound good?" The girl stared at him for a long moment. Then she slowly nodded. Marcus stood and offered his hand, then thought better of it and just gestured for her to follow. She clutched her bundle tighter and stood on shaky legs, following him at a distance. The walk to his apartment took 20 minutes. People on the street gave them a wide berth, some covering their noses as they passed. Marcus felt anger simmer in his gut. Yeah, she was dirty. She was a refugee who had probably spent weeks in transport holds, sleeping on floors, eating whatever scraps she could find. That was what war did to people. His apartment was small but clean. He lived alone, worked maintenance at the spaceport, and kept to himself mostly. As he unlocked the door, he realized he hadn't thought this through. What did alien kids eat? Did she have allergies? Could she even process human food? The girl stepped inside and stopped, looking around with those massive eyes. Okay, so, bathrooms through there. The shower has both sonic and water settings. I'm guessing water might feel better after all that travel. She clicked something and tilted her head. Marcus walked to the bathroom and turned on the water, adjusting it to warm. Steam began to rise. The girl approached cautiously, then touched the water with one finger. Her whole body seemed to relax. Yeah, hot water. Amazing stuff. There's soap here, towels here. Take your time. I'll find something clean for you to wear. He left her alone and heard the door click shut. While the water ran, he rummaged through his drawers. Everything would be too big, but he found an old shirt and some elastic waist shorts that might work. He also grabbed his datapad and did a quick search on outer colony refugees. The girl was probably Tikari, based on her features. They were near human, breathed the same air, could eat most human foods. Their homeworld had been caught in the crossfire when 2 major powers decided to fight over trade routes. Millions displaced, Families torn apart, children orphaned. The water stopped. Marcus waited, and eventually the door opened. The girl emerged, and he barely recognized her. Her skin was a soft blue-gray, smooth and clean. Her hair, now freed from dirt, was a silvery white that caught the light. She wore his shirt like a dress, and she looked about 10 years old by human standards, but it was her expression that got him. She looked terrified and hopeful at the same time, like she expected him to change his mind now that she was clean. "You look better. Feel better?" She nodded vigorously. "Good. Now food. You hungry?" Another nod. Marcus heated up some vegetable soup and bread, basic stuff that wouldn't upset an alien stomach. The girl ate slowly at first, then faster, like she was afraid it would disappear. He let her finish the whole pot. While she ate, he noticed the bundle she had been carrying. It was a small cloth bag, hand-sewn with crude stitching. She caught him looking and opened it carefully. Inside was a photograph, cracked and stained, showing a Tikari family. She pointed to the smallest figure. "That's you?" She nodded, then pointed to the adults. Her finger traced their faces, and she made a soft, sad sound. Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Gone?" She nodded again, tears forming in those huge eyes. He didn't know what to say. What could anyone say? So he just sat there with her while she cried, and eventually she fell asleep on his couch. Still clutching the photograph. Marcus covered her with a blanket and sat in his chair, thinking. Tomorrow he would take her to processing properly, make sure she got into the system, got the help she needed. But tonight, she was warm and clean and safe. His communicator buzzed. It was his friend Jake from work. "Hey man, heard you picked up a stray at the station." "You crazy? Those refugees are trouble. Diseases, legal issues, the whole mess." Marcus looked at the small figure on his couch, finally peaceful in sleep. "She's a kid?" "Jake, a scared kid who needed help." "Yeah, well, there are services for that. Not your problem." Marcus ended the call. Maybe Jake was right. Maybe this was someone else's problem. But everyone kept saying that, and meanwhile, kids slept in transport stations waiting for help that never came. The next morning, the girl woke to the smell of toast and eggs. Marcus had raided his kitchen for anything that seemed kid-friendly. She ate breakfast with better manners now, saying a clicking word that he assumed meant thank you. After breakfast, they took the transit to the processing center. Marcus had called ahead and made sure someone would be there to help. The waiting room was full of refugees, all looking tired and lost. A caseworker finally called them in. She was human, middle-aged, with kind eyes. "So this is Lyra?" The girl nodded, hearing her name. "She doesn't speak much standard yet, but she understands some. I found her at the station last night. She needs to be registered, placed somewhere safe." The caseworker looked through her files. "We're overwhelmed right now. Foster placements are full. She would likely end up in a group home for several months while we process her case." Marcus saw Lyra's expression fall. Group homes were not terrible, but they were crowded, impersonal places. What about private placement? If someone volunteered? The caseworker looked at him with surprise. "You mean you? Do you understand what that involves? Background checks, home inspections, training, legal guardianship papers?" "Yeah, I understand. Why would you do this? You don't even know her." Marcus looked at Lyra, who was staring at him with hope blazing in her eyes. "Because somebody helped me once. When I was a refugee kid and nobody wanted to deal with me, one person stepped up. Maybe it's time I paid that forward." The caseworker studied him for a long moment, then pulled out a stack of forms. "This is going to be a lot of work. I've got time." 3 months later, Marcus stood in his apartment, which now had a second bedroom decorated with drawings Lyra had made. She was picking up standard quickly, attending school, making friends. The other kids thought her silvery hair was cool, and she was teaching them Tikari words. She bounded into the room now, holding a datapad with her homework. "Marcus, help please?" "Math problems hard." He smiled and sat down with her. Yeah, it was hard. Some days were really hard. But every night when she went to bed safe and warm, when she laughed at something funny, when she called him family, he knew he had made the right choice. Everyone at the station had walked past a dirty alien girl and decided she was not their problem. Marcus had decided differently, and that, he thought, was what separated humans who lived up to their potential from those who just took up space. Anyone could walk past someone in need. It took courage to stop. Took humanity to care.